If I had $1,000 to invest today and I was 21 years old or 25 or 28 or in my 20s, I would not invest this money. If I wanted the biggest growth and I want the biggest returns, I would not put this money into the stock market. I would not put this money into real estate. I would not put this money into cryptocurrency. I would not take this money into the casino. I would invest this money into something that would give me the most scalable and the most growth, into something that will pay me consistently with cash flow and equity. The first thing that I would do is I would take this $1,000 and divide it up into two pieces. I would take 10% or $100 and put this into my education side, and then I would take the other 90% or $900 and put this into my actual doing side, what I would do with this money. Now, the reason why I don't want to take this $1,000 and put this money just into the stock market or the real estate market or the crypto market is because if I'm looking for the most growth, and this is me, like the title said, how I would invest the $1,000 in my 20s, well, I want to see the most growth, and that's going to require me to actively work to grow the money because I have the entrepreneurial mind. I want to work to actually create something much more valuable. If I take this cash and I put this money in the stock market or the real estate market or crypto or whatever, well, now I am hoping that I'm going to get a 7, 8, 9, maybe 10% return on my money, because when you put your money into these assets, it's a passive investment. You're putting your money into something else, stocks or whatever, and you're just hoping that your investment is going to grow, and it's something that you don't got to worry about. But if I want to grow this money the most, now I want to take this money into my own hands, put it into myself, and grow it as fast as possible. So first thing I want to do is I want to make sure I educate myself, because the reality is education is the backbone for your success. But the question is, where are you getting this education? Like, most of us assume that school is our backbone fundamental, and that is where education is supposed to end. When in reality, school is just where your education begins. And I can tell you this from experience, because I went through high school, I went through college, I went through a year of grad school, and then I went through law school. And that's when I realized I never once learned a thing about making money. And so I graduated law school, and I never worked a day as an attorney. I was an entrepreneur. I was always an entrepreneur since I was in high school. But after I graduated law school, I continued to work on myself and my own businesses. But along the way, that's where I learned that I had to invest my money back into my own real education. I have spent multiple times more on my real education and my business education now than I have spent on all of my formal education. Now, where does this education come from? Now, of course, you can start by watching YouTube videos. It's a free way to start. You can listen to podcasts, another free way to start. But then you can also start reading books. You can start taking classes. Then you can start hiring coaches, and then you can start hiring consultants. And so the more money you make, the more you want to be reinvesting back in yourself. But if you're just getting started, you only have $1,000, start by watching YouTube videos, and maybe start by reading some books. Get a few business books, some business books on something that you're interested in, whether it's marketing, whether it's selling, whether it's whatever. Get a business book on that. Get a business book on how to start a business, how to be an entrepreneur. Get a business book on how people have built successful businesses, and get a business book on how to scale a business. Go out and find some of the top business books and things that you're interested in. Just go to Amazon, go wherever, Audible, and see some of the books that have some of the biggest and highest reviews. Buy them, start learning them. Then, at the same time, in addition to you doing, I'll get to that in just a second, you got to have money to feed yourself. You got to have money to pay your rent. You got to have money to buy your basic stuff. And so you're going to need cash, and $900 is not going to do it. So if I could go back in time, now I wouldn't change anything that I did, because I'm very happy with the things that I learned along the way, because everything that I did, all the failures that I had, all the mistakes that I made kind of got me to where I am today. So I wouldn't change my life for that purpose. But if I was going to give another 21-year-old advice on things that they could do to start learning more, look for a sales position where now you can work for a bigger company where you can sell something that's scalable. And when I say scalable, I mean something like mortgages or insurance, life insurance, or maybe even stocks, but that takes more licenses in order to get started. Because I used to be a real estate salesperson, and it was nice, but the problem is you're very independent. Like, you got to figure out all by yourself, which can be good, but if you want someone to teach you while you're working to build your own business, it's nice if you're working for a big firm, something like where you're selling mortgages, and now they plug you into a system, and now you learn from their blueprint. They teach you exactly what to do to sell, they teach you the program, they teach you your systems, and now you learn how they built the business, you learn how to sell, you learn how marketing works, and you're plugged into something where you can see it all happening around you, and now all you got to do is pick up the phone and practice and you get to practice on somebody else's dime while getting paid, and you can make a lot of money while doing it because now you're learning how to sell, you're learning how the business works, and then you're working on how to build yourself as well. Now, before I get into some of the things that I would do, let me talk about some of the things that I would not do if I was starting back off when I was 21 years old and I wanted to see the fastest growth of my money. The first thing is I wouldn't start a YouTube channel to be a content creator. Let me specify what that means because generally you have two different types of YouTubers out there. You have YouTubers who are content creators who live off of their YouTube advertising revenue, who live off of their sponsorship revenue because all they do is make YouTube videos. And then you have YouTubers who are business owners. They make YouTube videos in order to funnel people who watch their videos back into the business. An example of this would be, let's say you're a real estate salesperson and now you make YouTube videos talking about some of the real estate homes that you're selling. And the reason why you're doing this is so that now you can find potential buyers for your homes. And that way people who might want to list their homes will find you. You see the same thing with accountants, you see the same thing with a whole bunch of different industries where people make videos. Maybe you're an accountant, you make videos about finance, how to manage your money better. That way people who want an accountant will then use you as an accountant. So that's one option, is to start a YouTube channel to help service your clients and to find more clients as opposed to actually creating YouTube videos just to be a content creator. Now, I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I started my YouTube channel, This Minority Mindset, as a hobby. I didn't really think of this as a way of making money. I was working on building a completely separate, completely unrelated business. I was in the business of selling socks. It has nothing to do with making money. It has nothing to do with entrepreneurship. It was just something that I was doing. So I started YouTube as a hobby. But then YouTube started to grow and I found my passion way more here in the whole education side of things. But for me, it wasn't a way to make money. Now, of course, YouTube does pay me. I make money from advertising and sponsorships, and I also use YouTube as a way to send people to my own company, Market Briefs, which is my free financial newsletter company, where now you can get a free daily update on what's happening in the finance and business world. But I don't use YouTube like most people do because I don't need my YouTube advertising revenue. I don't need the YouTube sponsorship revenue. I have my own business. I have my own investments. I have my other things that I'm doing. I like making videos. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. But I'm also not sitting here just funneling people back into my business only. Like I do this because I enjoy it, kind of like on the content creation side, but then I also use YouTube as a way to get people back into my business. Now, if I was 21 years old or 25 or 28 and I wanted to start making money, I wouldn't start making videos for the content creation side because it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. And unless I wanted to be an actor, I probably wouldn't be doing this. Now, I would potentially use YouTube to funnel people back into my business from the business side, but I'll get to that in just a second. The second thing that I wouldn't do is start a service-only business. I made this mistake multiple times. I don't want to say it's a mistake because I learned from them each time and I made money doing it each time, so I don't want to say it's a mistake. That's the wrong word. But I tried both of these, but the thing that I kept learning was that when I do a service-only business, it's not very scalable. So, for example, when I was in college, I started an event planning company while I was working at weddings. And this event planning company was great. I was making good money. I was throwing parties, I was throwing concerts, I was throwing shows. But the problem was if I wasn't physically hosting an event, I wasn't getting paid. So I had to physically be there to get paid. Then I closed that business down because I hated the industry. I didn't party, I didn't drink. I wasn't into that whole industry, but I was very involved on the business side of the industry. So I didn't like it, so I got out. And then I went into wholesaling real estate. I got involved first as a real estate salesperson and then wholesaling real estate. And again, wholesaling real estate was a good business. I was making a lot of money, but it wasn't scalable. I had to physically keep calling clients. I had to keep calling buyers. I had to keep calling sellers. I had to keep going to the homes all by myself. And if I wasn't the one closing the deals, if I wasn't the one taking the pictures, if I wasn't the one doing everything, nothing was going to happen. No one was getting paid. And so it was, again, a service-based business that revolved around me. And by then I had realized that I wanted to build something much more scalable. So it didn't offer me that scaling potential. So I want to do something that's 100% service-based. Third, I would not start a dropship e-commerce store or any sort of e-commerce store where I'm just selling random products that anybody can buy from Alibaba or AliExpress or somewhere in China, because I want to build something scalable that I can protect, that people can't just compete against by undercutting my prices. I have done this. I have bought products from Alibaba and the Chinese sites from manufacturers over there to sell them on Amazon and eBay and other sites, and it made me some money. but it's very difficult to scale and build a real business. So if I'm going to be investing my time into something, I want something scalable where I can keep all the profits. And 4, I would not start a super capital intensive business, kind of like Market Briefs that I have now. Now, Market Briefs is a newsletter company, and if I was the only one writing the newsletter, then sure, it would not be very capital intensive. But the way that we have built it is we have people who are writing the newsletter, we have people in charge of the research for the newsletter, we have people in charge of our business development, who are getting sponsorships for the newsletter. So it requires a much bigger team, and I wanted to build a business that doesn't require me to physically work in the business to do it. And so for that, it's a more capital intensive business because now you have to pay for salaries for each one, you have to pay for the softwares and all of that. So it's much more expensive now to run. But if I wanted to build a business, I wouldn't do something that takes a whole bunch of money to start because I only got $900. I'm trying to build a business with as little money as possible. That way I can get it going and start putting money into my pocket. Is it possible? Sure. If I had a really good business idea, if I had a really good product idea, then absolutely I would take this money and invest it into that. I would go run it on Kickstarter, try to get some initial capital, then maybe go out and try to raise some money, that way I can grow it bigger. But if I don't have a huge business idea, if I don't have this real big passion of building this specific product, then no, I'm not going to go and try to do that. I'm going to try to find a way to grow my money much quicker. So what does that look like? If I was to go back in time, then one thing that I might do is continue working in the wedding business, which is a service-based business, or do my event planning company, again, a service-based business, but then add a digital component to it. Now maybe I make videos, take pictures of my events. Back then, Instagram and YouTube were not a thing. People were not using it like the way people use it now. And so now, if I were to go back, if times were now, I would post what I'm doing on social media on YouTube. But there would be a goal for people to watch my videos. So I'd show people my stuff, what's happening either at the wedding or at the event planning company. People would watch it. Maybe I'd generate a little bit of advertising revenue, but then maybe I would add a class on the back of it. If you want to learn how to build an event planning company, if you want to learn how to work at weddings as a DJ or play the drum that I was playing called the dole, charge, I don't know, $50 up to $500, depending on how intense the class is, teaching people how to do the thing that I was doing and how to build a business around it, where now I'm doing my service, but I also have a digital component. If I'm working at weddings, I only get paid when I actually go and work at a wedding, but people can watch my videos 24 hours a day. People can buy my class at 3 in the morning when I'm sleeping. And this way now you start to build a bigger business outside of just what you're doing in the business where you're working at the business. So now you're working at the business, but also teaching how to do the business. This way now you create a whole new stream of income. Instead of just doing one thing, you have a digital stream of income as well. The same thing would apply for pretty much any service-based business. If you're going to go out and detail cars, if you're going to be a DJ, if you're going to help people get into PR, all these things are services where you can add a digital component to the back end. That way now you have a way to get paid instead of you just physically doing the service, but also teaching the service so people can see what you're doing and try to replicate what you're doing as well. If I didn't have a service idea, like if I never worked at weddings, if I didn't host parties, if I didn't work in real estate and do real estate wholesaling, if I didn't have this type of service idea, then what would I do? Well, in that case, what I would want to do is see how I could provide as much value as possible to people who have money and want to spend this money. Who are those people? Well, generally business owners. How can I provide value to business owners who are making money, who want to earn more money? How can I help a business owner do that? Well, for me, my interest, I like marketing. I've always liked marketing. I don't know why. I like the idea of marketing. And so I would probably try to figure out how I could start some sort of marketing agency to help business owners get to where they want to go faster with a specific keyword, specific type of marketing. Now I know this is not a marketing video or a marketing channel, but let me give you a little bit of marketing 101. On a very broad level, you have two different types of marketing. You have organic marketing and paid marketing. Organic marketing is where you try to get customers without actually buying the customer. So somebody comes and buys a product from you because they hear about you from Google, they watch a YouTube video about you, or somebody tells you about your product and somebody buys it. So you're not actually paying for that customer. Paid advertising or paid marketing is now where you're paying to get exposure. You're paying for advertisements, you're paying somebody to talk about you, that way you can get more customers for your business. Then you can break down the organic marketing into content marketing and referral marketing. Content marketing means creating content on the internet that people find, that way then they can learn about your business. Referral marketing is how you can get your current customers to refer their friends, to refer people that they know to buy your product as well. Then you can break down this type of organic content marketing into things like SEO. How do you get a blog ranked on Google, onto the first page of Google? If somebody searched I want a good accountant. How do you help this accounting firm end up as the first result? Second would be YouTube content marketing. You are watching a YouTube video right now. In my YouTube videos, I talk about things like my Market Briefs newsletter, my Market Briefs company. This is a form of content marketing because now when I say, if you haven't joined Market Briefs yet, I got the link for you down in the description below. This is a type of content marketing where now some people will read this, watch what I'm saying, and then go join Market Briefs down in the description. Then you have PR. Helping people get onto the news, get somebody featured on Forbes or Business Insider or the local radio station. How do you get people that news feature? Then you have social content marketing, getting people viral on TikTok or Instagram or other social media platforms. Or it's podcast content marketing, getting people featured on podcasts. How can you help somebody get podcast bookings? These are all different types of content marketing that can help a business owner get more sales, get more customers, get more acquisitions. Just like that, you can break down paid advertising into things like Google advertising. How can you get more clients from Google advertisements or YouTube advertisements? Or how about social media advertisements? Facebook ads, Twitter ads, Instagram ads, or sponsorships, getting people sponsorships on YouTube or with Instagram influencers or with newsletter paid advertisements. I didn't realize how big of an industry it was for newsletter advertisements until I entered the Market Briefs newsletter business. Now, if I was going to start a marketing agency, you might think, just go out and start a marketing agency and try to do everything because now you can cater to the most clients, you can get the most businesses. But in reality, when you try to do everything, you end up getting nothing. So if I wanted to go back now and start a marketing agency, because I know business owners want to spend money in marketing, because if you can help them get $2 in sales, they'll be more than happy to pay you $1 in order to do that. What I would want to do is I would want to zero in on one particular item and help business owners with that. Help them with social media, Instagram advertisements or Facebook advertisements only, YouTube ads only, newsletter ads only, get people onto sponsors only. Get people with referral marketing. Be the expert when it comes to getting communities to refer someone's product to their friends or people that they know. Be the expert at getting people onto podcasts. Be the expert at getting people into news. If you can focus in on one niche, now you have a much more compelling pitch that you can give to businesses saying, hey, I only work with getting people viral on Instagram. I don't work with Twitter. I don't work with Facebook. I don't work with YouTube. I don't know about any of the other stuff, but I'm an expert when it comes to getting people viral on Instagram. When you do that, you are going to have a much more compelling pitch to people who want that particular product. Now you might say, but I'm cutting out so many potential opportunities. I'm cutting out so many potential businesses. And you're right. But you're focusing in on the right businesses and it's going to give you the opportunity to charge a whole lot more money because you're very specialized. But it requires you now to learn how to do that one thing. So where do you start? Well, start with YouTube. Watch as many YouTube videos as possible on that particular thing. Again, you could do this with other things as well. I just like marketing, so this is what I would do. I would go out and watch as many YouTube videos as possible, read as many blog posts as possible, and then try to do it for yourself. And then go out and try to find some clients for free. Yes, you want to start for free because you need to get some testimonials, you need to get the experience, and you need to get people who are now going to vouch for you and say, wow, you did a good job. Because now you can take this and publish it on your website. So you have that $900, take that $900 and invest it in your brand. Build a logo, build a website, make everything look nice, and then publish some of these testimonials on your website, and now go and try to find as many clients as possible. The hardest one to find is the first one. Once you find the first one, once you get the first person to pay, now you know you're in business. Now it's a matter of just replicating and scaling what you did to get the first one. And now as you grow, you can hire more people, teach them to grow. Now, of course, this is easy. No, I'm making it sound very simple. It's very hard. Building a business is very difficult. It takes a lot of time, effort, research. You got to keep reinvesting in yourself, but it is very possible. And now what I'm doing is I'm building something that's growable, I'm building something that's scalable, and each individual one of these can be a multi-million-dollar business idea. And each one of these can make you a ton of money, but it requires you to constantly keep learning and keep leveraging it because now you can be the specialist. You can be the go-to person for the one specific thing. And when you become that go-to person, you can then 10x your rates, 20x your rates, even 50x your rates. You can go from charging $100 to $5,000 for doing the exact same thing because people want to work with you, somebody who has all the experience, somebody who knows what they're doing because you have built up their reputation. And this takes time but it also takes that specialization where you are the expert in one particular category. So if you want to get the biggest returns possible, then you want to be taking this money and investing it in you and keep investing in your education. That way you have the resources and the skill set. You're investing in your mental equity. That way now you have the resources now to build a cash flowing business that's worth something. That way maybe later on you can sell the business or go out and do something completely different. So the reason why a startup doesn't pay dividends is because a dividend is now when you're taking cash out of the company and you're just giving it away to the owners, to the shareholders, people like you who invest in the company. And if you're a startup, if you're just giving away your cash, that means you're not going to grow as fast. And when you're a startup, you want to grow as quick as possible, as fast as possible,